Morning everybody. So a quick question, are you a property investor or just a manager when you actually do a rent-to-rent strategies? So my name's Harvey, I'm a remote property investor. I don't do any rent-to-rents, but I have got a few HMOs. But I've always been a little bit miffed by the rent-to-rent sort of strategy, and I'm reading a fantastic book at the moment, or listening to it, should I say, fantastic book at the moment by Peter Howe. I'm going to attempt to do a video, by the way, my son's in the background. I've got him this morning, so let's see how well this goes. But I'm reading a fantastic book at the moment, really enjoying it, by Peter J. Howe. Is all about buy-to-let mortgage, and he starts it off by saying he's miffed as well by when people say property investing and tie that word to rent-to-rents. And I've never tied this analogy together, so I'm going to actually steal this analogy from Peter. I've done a few videos on this now, so I really enjoyed it and like this analogy. He's saying when you do rent-to-rents, you're not an investor, you're not investing in the property, you're just managing the property. You're managing somebody else's asset. So investing is about buying assets, and the biggest thing that most people get into investment for, and especially property, is having a passive income from assets. So property rent-to-rents is far from passive unless you hire a property manager to manage them for you. But doing that is a hell of a lot more difficult than just putting an advert on Indeed and hiring somebody. You need processes to hire them, to pre-qualify them. You need systems and processes in place to manage them. So you will have a job managing them to make sure they know what they're doing, at least for the first few years, until you found out some real good systems, found a good person. So I totally agree with Peter on this. Rent-to-rents is not investing, it is just property managing. You're swapping your time for money. So most people get into property to have a passive income and create more time and more freedom in their life. And quite often I've seen so many people fall into this trap and just create a busy job on the side for themselves. As I said, even finding a property manager takes time and effort to be able to master that skill of hiring, managing people. So it's not something that happened overnight. It's rewarding, and I'm not totally against rent-to-rents, by the way. I think they're a fantastic strategy if you fully go into it aware that you're just swapping your time for money, or if you go into it fully aware it will take a little bit of effort, like anything else, like all good strategies, like all good wealth building stuff. It takes a little bit of time to be able to train, hire and get a credible manager to run them for you. Or the best time I think rent-to-rents work really well is if you want to get out of your job and you've not got much money to start building up buy-to-lets. And it is a fast way out of your job, but you've got to be prepared to have a trade-off of a little period of working really hard. But most things, if you want to build a sustainable wealth or sustainable future for yourself in wealth creation, you do have to work hard to not work hard at the start and put a little bit of effort in. So things great like that, but if you go into it wisely, do not go into rent-to-rent thinking that you're going into property investor and you're going to enjoy all the freedoms from property investing. Multiple streams of property income, nicked that from Progressive, thank you guys. But to create multiple streams of property income, realistically, the best form and the COVID-proof investing at the moment is single-let properties. But not all single-let properties are made equal. You want high-yielding, low purchase price single-let properties. If you've got a foundation of these, then when you do rent-to-rents, or when you do HMOs, or when you do commercial conversions or developments and things like this, you've got your foundation that gives you that residual income. And ideally, Mark Homer pushes this still to this day. I watched him on all these first videos when it came into lockdown. If you build that foundation of single lets, this then gives you, it does a few things. It helps you cut your teeth and understand property management. It gives you the passive income that you want, because you either get a property manager, because getting a property manager to manage a single let property is a hell of a lot easier than getting a manager to manage a HMO. So if you've got rent-to-rent, so many of these on lower margins, it's a bit more difficult to hire a property manager, or to hire to pay somebody as a letting agent basically to manage it for you. It squeezes out your profit. But as I said, I'm not against rent-to-rents. I think they're a fantastic tool, but it's not wealth building. It's just temporary. Another one that bugbears me a little bit is when people say Airbnb don't own any properties, Uber don't own any cars. They own the systems and processes and the software that run them businesses. That is their asset. So there's digital assets, there's bricks and mortar assets, and there's swapping time for money, so it's very, very different. So I've seen a few people that built a massive rent-to-rent business, and then they created systems and processes to run that. That isn't an asset, because the systems and processes within that company, if it is no longer reliant on them, and they've got systems and processes to hire, systems and processes to run the rent-to-rent, it then is an asset. That the business itself is the asset, not the properties. But it'll take time. It takes time to build up systems, processes into any business, no matter if it's rent to rent, whether it's a lettings company, whether it's any company you want to start up. Them things take a lot of duration, time and effort to get to them sort of stages. So yeah, just interesting. But guys, what do you think? What's your views on this? Thanks for a few people, like, see a few of you jumping on. Let's have a wave. My son's playing ball today. I put him in front of a laptop watching a few bits. So hi Natalie. Hi George. Does any of you do rent to rent? So, as I said, I'm not against rent to rent, but I think you have to go into them with your eyes wide open. I've seen many people who've got a job and they just want a side income. They get into rent to rents and they're realising, wow, all my spare time's took up managing tenants moaning about socks on radiators or the regulation, and there's a hell of a lot more that goes with the regulation towards HMOs or service departments. Oh, here he comes. Hello, son. You gonna say hello? But yeah, listen guys, give us your views. Don't show them your tongue. Don't show your tongue. But yeah, give us your views and what you think on this. I'm gonna jump off now. So yeah, I just thought I'd put that out there. Great book by Peter J. Howell. Look up that book. I'll put the link in below if anybody wants it. I'm really enjoying that at the moment. But I thought that was a really valid point. I've done a few videos on that. I've really got inspired by that. But remember, if you don't evolve your ideas, you never live in your own terms. So evolve your ideas, live in your own terms. Comment below anything and I'll catch up with them later on. Have a fantastic day, everyone.